To every great superhero, there's a great sidekick. Sometimes the sidekick is even more iconic than the actual superhero. Or at least that's how it used to be. Nowadays, to find a popular sidekick is almost impossible. Every big new superhero has no sidekick. Invincible doesn't have a sidekick. Deku doesn't have a sidekick. Kamala Khan doesn't have a sidekick. While back in the day, almost every superhero had a sidekick. Now, were they all good? No. But the point is, they still had one. But for some reason, they suddenly just stopped. But why did they stop having sidekicks? Because if you look at some of the most popular sidekick, like Robin, he is more popular than some of the most iconic superheroes. He is so iconic, in fact, that when people talk about iconic duos, they use Batman and Robin as a basis. For example, NBA's Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are often called the perfect Batman and Robin. But yet, we haven't seen a Batman and Robin team-up movie in over 20 years, since 1997, and we won't see another Batman and Robin movie for a long time until we get Batman Brave and the Bold. So what happened to having iconic sidekicks? We used to have sidekicks everywhere, like Robin, like Bucky Barnes, like Aqualad, and even Supergirl was a sidekick at one point. And even though we don't have a real concrete answer to why sidekicks have disappeared and have been extinct for a long time in movies and TV shows and sometimes even comics, well, I personally think I have come to a conclusion and a reason why we don't have sidekicks anymore. And I know this might sound weird, but the reason why I believe we don't have sidekicks anymore is because they are too successful. If you look at the most iconic sidekick of them all, Robin, he got so iconic that he kind of didn't need to be a sidekick anymore. Even though most people know him as a sidekick, everyone loves him in the Teen Titans when he's a leader of a team. And everyone even likes him even more when he becomes Nightwing. So much so that Nightwing is considered one of the most favorite and coolest superheroes out there. Nightwing is so loved that most people have him as one of their favorite superheroes. And even if you look at all the other Robins that came after Dick Grayson, the main Robin, they have become more iconic when they are not Robin. The main one, Jason Todd. Most people know Jason Todd as Robin, but more people know Jason Todd when he becomes the Red Hood. And he becomes so much popular, and even people love the movie Under the Red Hood. People love Arkham Knight. Jason Todd is more popular as the Red Hood than being Robin. And that goes along for all the other Robins, Tim Drake being Red Robin, all the girl Robins becoming Batgirl. And that applies to every other big sidekick. Look at Bucky Barnes. Most people know him as the sidekick to Captain America, but now more people know Bucky Barnes as the Winter Soldier. When Bucky Barnes became the Winter Soldier, he's now considered one of the greatest antagonists to Captain America. And not only is he considered and loved by most people, and since the transition to Bucky Barnes to the Winter Soldier, people have loved the Winter Soldier. He's gone in so many great movies. Not one, but two great movies revolved around him in the MCU. Not to mention, Supergirl, originally started as sort of a sidekick to Superman, has now become her own thing. Most people know Supergirl as her own standalone superhero, when back in the day she was more of a sidekick to Superman than her own actual fleshed out superhero. Supergirl has her own dedicated fan base to where some people just love Supergirl more than they actually like Superman. But the biggest example when a sidekick surpasses the main hero is the Kid Flash, mainly Wally West. At one point, the main Flash, Barry Allen, died in the comics, and Wally West takes over the mantle of Flash for a long period of time, to the point where a lot of people grew up with Wally West as being their Flash. And at one point, he was even more known as a Flash than Barry Allen was. And maybe some of you as the audience actually didn't realize that Wally West was your Flash for a long time. If you watch Justice League Unlimited, which is a show I grew up with and is a show that most people grew up with, the Flash in Justice League Unlimited is Wally West's Flash. So the scene where you see Lex Luthor take off Flash's mask, that is Wally West's Flash. That whole entire show, which is very popular, is all Wally West's Flash. Not to mention, Wally West's Flash is beloved by most audiences. Not to mention, when Wally West was in his prime for a long period of time as the Flash, more people liked Wally West as the Flash more than they liked Barry Allen as the Flash when they compared the two. It was only till the Flash TV show came out where Barry Allen took over the mainstream as the main Flash and as the Flash. And as the Flash that everyone knows. But for a while, Wally West really had a chokehold on the community of Flash fans. If you ask a lot of Flash fans, they might still say Wally West is their favorite Flash. And even though Barry Allen has taken over the mantle strongly as the main Flash, Wally West is still the Flash, and people still love his design, and people love his character, and people love his comics. He hasn't gone a mainline movie where he's the main character, but trust me, if he did, a lot of people would be happy as him as the main Flash. To me, he's kind of the Miles Morales out Flash. While Miles Morales was never really a sidekick, to me, Wally West was kind of the mold for Miles Morales, while Wally West started out as a sidekick and eventually took over as being the main Flash, while Miles Morales kind of is his own individual Spider-Man, not really the original Spider-Man. While Wally West did the opposite, where he started off as a sidekick and took over the mantle as the main Flash, which has never really been done in comics. Obviously, we've seen Robin take over the mantle as Batman, but we never see Dick Grayson become more famous than Bruce Wayne. We never see Tim Drake become more famous as Batman than Bruce Wayne. We've never seen it go that far. So to see Wally West at a period of time take over the mantle of the Flash as the Flash everyone knows is kind of insane, and is probably the farthest we've seen a sidekick go in history. But for a period of time, Wally West taking over the Flash is still a really impressive thing to do. So since all of these sidekicks eventually surpassed or even broke free from being a sidekick, I think that's kind of why we don't see sidekicks anymore. Because inherently, a sidekick is not really where you want to start off with. So it would only make sense if you create a great sidekick, they're better off just being their own hero and having their own comics. So that's kind of why I believe sidekicks are not really created anymore, because if you have a great idea for a sidekick, it's better to just make them their own hero. Because look at Robin. He is a character where if you wrote him today, you could make him his own hero. If you look at Wally West's Flash, he is so well written that you can make him his own hero. Same thing with Supergirl, same thing with Winter Soldier. They're such great written characters that there's no point in creating sidekicks anymore. If you have a great idea for a sidekick, it's better to have them as their own character. Obviously, there are many situations where it's better for them to start off as a sidekick, but I feel like most authors, if they have a great idea for a sidekick, it's better for them to start as their own hero or start as a companion to the main hero. Not really much of a sidekick, but just someone who helps out with crime. Sort of how Spider-Man and Miles Morales, they're not really sidekicks, they're more of teammates. So that's why I personally believe that we don't have sidekicks anymore, because someone like Miles Morales, even though in the past they would have set him as a sidekick, he's so interesting and complex as a character alone that they don't really need to put the label of a sidekick, more as he's his own individual superhero. Now, there is no real definitive reason to why we don't have sidekicks around anymore, because maybe they don't make a profit, or maybe people don't like them anymore, or maybe they don't work in movies. We are not in these superhero corporate meetings with all the suits. So I would love to hear why you personally think sidekicks are extinct nowadays. And I personally just wanted to throw out my opinion on why I believe sidekicks don't exist anymore. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, because 99% of people who watch me aren't even subscribed. So don't be that 99% and hit that subscribe button. It's free. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope to see you guys next time. Later, hater, and peace.